Well, now. Yes, 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 we're here. And we're hoping that YouTube and the others have sent out the alerts to the fans faithful.
Doesn't look
Well,
like it. I'm a
how do you
faithful
know?
and a fan, and I haven't got one. It's a good job I'm on the cast because I haven't got one. At least I know about it, eh? No thanks to X.
So happy. So happy.
Yeah, well.
There's the man. There's the man.
Could be the subject matter we keep having to talk about, mate. Puts you in a bad mood, doesn't it?
Don't. Do you remember that guy that we actually put up on the thing where we were talking about the migrants? This guy. Yeah.
Oh, go
I mean,
on, surprise me while they let him out on bail and he's offended again or something. Oh, allegedly.
No. You're right. No, that picture is just a stock
God,
picture.
he might sue us.
No, I don't even care who he is. I don't know. But he's an Ethiopian asylum seeker charged with 3 sexual assaults in 2 days, not 4. Okay,
3 in 2 days.
Okay. A week after arriving in the UK on a small boat. And so you wonder what all those protests were going on at the Bell Hotel in Epping. Okay, so
it also makes you wonder how many people were on that boat, and were they all like him? I mean, even if a quarter of them were, that is bad enough, isn't it?
well, what it goes to show is they have absolutely no respect for women. Now, we can have a joke about no respect for women, but they really do not have any respect for women. And I think that it's becoming quite obvious that multiculturalism doesn't work. Does it, sir?
Well, David Cameron told us this about 10 years ago, didn't he? And then, our Kia, 2-tier Kia, he says it was all done by design. So he knows.
Yes.
So they're just rubbing our noses in it. We know what we're doing is bad, but we're doing it.
Indeed.
But we're trying not to do it, honest.
I'm going to pick up on a few stories that have gone on. A British marathon runner, the oldest one going, aged 114, is dead. Now, he didn't die of natural causes. He's died in a road accident in India. And the British athlete, believed to be the oldest runner to complete a marathon, was hit by a car and suffered fatal injuries while trying to cross a road in his birth village, Beespind, in Punjab on Monday. How about that?
Sorry, the British marathon runner was born and called what? Sorry?
His name was...
Beautiful British name.
Fauja Singh.
Oh, I could have the debate on how on earth he's British, but we'll leave that for another day.
Well, there you go. That's it. I mean, the point was he was the oldest marathon runner, 114. So he didn't die in action. He died by a car crash.
It doesn't surprise me with them roads in India, mate, does it?
Have you seen the way if you try to cross one of those roads, you are taking your life into your hands. Now, here's another one. And this is the Afghan asylum scandal, which is the story has just been released today. And believe it or not, Farage has got the best explanation of it. Here we go.
The Afghan scandal has broken. Extraordinary that a British government put a super injunction on all the British media that lasted for over 2 years to cover up a story of incompetence, dishonesty, and a threat to our own national security.
Shock.
An email missent published the names of 100,000 people in Afghanistan that were available to the Taliban. Many of them had helped us during that 20-year war there. Others were known to us for being, frankly, just bad people. Either way, it was decided in 2023 that we would airlift many of them out of Afghanistan, a process that continues to this day. We decided that 25,000 of the 100,000 should come to the United Kingdom. Amongst the number that have come are convicted sex offenders. I am not, I promise you, making any of this up.
Shock horror.
And the total cost of the operation has been a staggering £7 billion. Of those that came, none of them were included in the immigration figures. There has been a total veil of secrecy put upon this by the last Conservative government and frankly carried on until now by the current Labour government. The numbers are off the charts. The cost is beyond comprehension. And the threat to women walking the streets of this country, frankly, is incalculable. I can't think of a better example of the total incompetence, dishonesty, and genuine lack of understanding what the priorities of a British government are than this Afghan scandal.
Now, that's a lot of money. And there was a super injunction put on the press to stop this coming out in the public 2 years ago. And I think John Healey is now really trying to cringe his way into Parliament because Parliament were also misled over this. And it's because of a mistake made by a British serviceman that allowed a leak of information. Now, what's going to happen when these people come over here? They're actually going to start claiming benefits and they're going to sue the British government for the leakage of the data. And we're going to be paying for them to sue the British government, of which they will win because they've already admitted it by trying to bring them over at a cost of $7 billion to the public of this country. And then we're going to have that culture put into the communities again. Multiculturalism. Isn't it a great win? You get me?
No, it's a massive L. Did you know, you say he done it by accident? You sure he didn't do it on purpose if loads of them were nonsense?
I have...
That would have been a good one. Right, I know you've helped us in that, but I've seen you abusing kids with your little game with your boys and that.
Oh, very good.
Hey, our Taliban, have that before we go.
Very good.
See you all later.
Now, on the flip side of it, Thames Water, and in this country, Thames Water have built up a debt of $1.65 billion. And Sky News sent out a reporter to actually badger the guy because he'd been in Parliament lobbying for support. And this is our water company. This is a British company, and these people are just ripping off the customers. Here we go.
You've just answered a lot of questions. Why are you misleading MPs and the public and not providing information to the committee? Excuse me, sir, can I just ask you, why have you been lobbying to be exempt from over £1 billion worth of fines for underperformance? You've said previously that you need to pay such high salaries and bonuses to retain talent in the company. Do you consider senior executives in this company to be talented, given the way it's been performing?
Now look at that fat runt who's just soaking up the money from the British public, paying out massive dividends both to themselves, the board, and the shareholders, and yet they're $1.65 billion in debt. And that's getting around the same debt as what Warrington has built up. Now tell me, is this right, Mark?
Nothing we ever talk about right, is it, these days?
I know. I mean, I'm sorry to be...
disaster after disaster, isn't it?
I'm sorry to be putting this on the listeners, but they've got to know what's going on these things. And Sky News, to be fair to them, they did a good job. Listen to the way that she's badgering this guy. I mean, it's just making him look like a total arsehole.
And what do you have to say to customers? Would you like to apologise to customers, sir?
No, he wouldn't.
Would you like to apologise to your customers for the terrible performance of your company? What's your assessment of what's gone wrong with Thames Water? Do you think it's many, many people, including senior... Just until you want to answer any questions about it. Because we're here on behalf of the public.
Well, if you want to put in a bid for an interview.
We have put in a bid for an interview.
If you want to put in a bid for an interview.
I tell you what, John, I think someone needs to put in a bid to take over from Thames Water, to be honest with you, mate.
Oh.
I think we need more competition on these monopolies, you know.
And they've got to pay...
Something's got to be done to open this up.
They've got to pay top dollar to this fat arsehole, right, who's actually really just building up more debts. He doesn't give a shit about the customer. You can just tell. He thinks that he is just totally and utterly in the right. You can see it in his face. He's just looking at her and just going, yeah, well, I'm going back to a nice office and I'm going back to a nice wage. What are you going to be doing, my lady? Yeah.
It's a tough one, this, isn't it? Because, you know, if you get annoyed with your local supermarket, you can just go to a different one, but...
You have absolutely no choice with these people, do you?
No, that needs fixing.
Oh, totally, totally. Anyway, you know, there are so many things that are going on. And while all this is going on, this is a typical evening in London. Are you ready for this?
No, stabbing prayers in the street. Multicultural kick-offs. What are they fighting over now?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Codes, drugs, Nike shoes. I don't know.
But this is Khan's London. You know? I mean, I can't work out. And this is, you know, they're saying, oh no, London's safe.
Looks it, right, yeah.
Oh, look at this. A little bit more.
Hey, what the fuck? Chill.
Does the car belong to a paedophile? I mean,
no.
Doesn't excuse it, but I mean,
no.
Could be justification, but no. Oh man! Just repeat the same words as well.
Can you see a single policeman? God. Can you see a single policeman around there? And yet, anybody goes into a migrant hotel, policemen are right there, and they'll send 2, 4, 6, 8 of them straight away. But they can't even turn up to a burglary. This is, you know...
Where's the DEI police to come and tackle them all to the ground? They're all busy.
Oh, busy. Okay, that's why they're called the busies.
They're all busy with pride, isn't they?
And also because homelessness in London has been decriminalised. Look at this.
Yo, this is madness. Back streets, you know, of central London, bro. Wow.
Again, I think the people of London need to come and clean this up themselves. Like the Irish did.
Crazy, cuz. This is back streets of London, look. It's like they told them, get off the main road, look. What's going on? Yo, this is...
No, okay, so as it is, the migrants will just go and pick on... This is just like France.
Yeah, but this is the problem. So you remember there was someone sleeping in my village. He was sleeping rough and he damaged property and he was graffitiing on the property he was sleeping outside of. And I contacted the police and said, could you shift him? Because this woman's got like proper anxiety. She's like, it's affecting her business and that. Nothing we can do. I said, oh, there is. It's aggravated trespass, mate. He's literally vandalised and damaged property. Oh, there's nothing we can do. But all the shops were encouraging him and bringing him food and people were pulling up in cars and giving him beer. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Because if we accept the first one, this is what happens.
Yep.
So, well, as soon as I got involved, the local councillors couldn't get there quick enough. Got resolved eventually, but it wasn't from their want of doing it, put it that way.
Well, you think about it. If they decriminalised it there and they start flooding this area with migrants, then you know exactly what's going to happen. It's as simple as that. It's just going to come to Cheshire.
I know what's going to happen. This isn't going to happen. I'm telling you now.
Well, and here's some loose tongues over Sadiq Khan in London, and this is an interview with this guy, and he's just being straight honest.
How much is Sadiq Khan on a year, do you think?
156,000, I think. Yeah, I've heard, and I don't know if it's true. Taxi cabs do tell us lots of stories, but that most of them are true. That he's building a house for £10 million in North London, which he's kept quiet. Where's he got the money from? If that is true, that's not right.
Do you believe, like, Sadiq Khan is the most hated man in Britain?
I think he's the most hated man in Britain and America and Europe and mostly around the world. How
can a mayor of a city be so hated?
What are we saying? How can a mayor?
We're not talking about a president. We're not talking about a prime minister. We're not talking about a royal. We're talking about a mayor of a city.
Let me explain to you the role of the mayor of London. He has got the highest job probably in the world, next to Trump, below Starmer. You can't tell him what to do. You can't fire him. There's no one above his head. He has no autonomy above his head. So, makes him powerful.
That's why that hook-nosed piece of worthless shit actually just does what he wants, gets away with anything. Now, how is he building, if the rumours are true, how is he building a £10 million house in London? This has got similar smack to it, to what was happening in America, from these funds that the Democrats were actually involved in, and why they got so mad when Elon Musk came in and started saying, no, we're closing that down. You're not having that money and all the rest of the stuff. They cut off those things, and it just carries on. I know that we've got some big stories, but coming. But I mean, do you know how many migrants are actually claiming universal credit?
Too many, mate.
The actual figures of the number of foreign nationals receiving the benefit has risen from 883,470 in 2022 to 1.26 million last month.
And that's all they're telling you about. So always add a little bit on to whatever they tell you.
Okay. And then we have other nutters like this guy. Now, I know that I'm not talking about Lee Anderson asking the question. I'm talking about Ed Miliband. And this guy, Jesus Christ, I mean, I had a phone call from a parliamentary insider tonight telling me that Labour are in complete disarray. They are falling apart, and nobody knows how they're actually keeping it together. They are just falling apart. But listen to this guy. This is Lee Anderson asking Ed Miliband a question about climate change. And it's a valid question.
Lee Anderson.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. The statement from the Energy Secretary sounded like a desperate attempt to save his own job. But he's right. The British people do need protecting. They need protecting from the Energy Secretary, because businesses that I visit every single week say that his madcap ideas are killing growth, killing business and killing jobs. But I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt if he can answer one simple question which he's already refused to answer. By how much will the Earth's temperature be reduced by if the UK became net zero tomorrow? Simple question.
And the answer, which he just...
And the answer...
How can someone say "and the answer" which someone doesn't want to hear and then don't give the answer?
What? This
is
unbelievable.
If he thinks we're stupid, how stupid is he?
These people are just so untrustworthy. It's not funny. None of the smaller parties in Parliament trust them at all. And the devolved countries have to play ball because that's where the money is coming from for their budgets. So make your mind up over that one.
Doesn't want to accept is this. If he just listens, the answer is this. I believe in British leadership. I believe in Britain.
Off.
British leadership. Right? This is the guy that said he was going to save money and it's costing people more money.
Sorry, was the question, do you believe in British leadership or not?
No, nothing to
do
with it.
It wasn't, was it? No. So here we go again with the non-answers.
Ability to make a difference. And the truth is, when we, as I said in my statement, when we passed the Climate Change Act, 60 countries followed. When we legislated for net zero, many other countries followed. He talks Britain down. I believe in Britain.
Oh, yeah. You believe in Britain. You believe in breaking Britain. That's what you're going to do. I mean, this guy wants to abolish. If he's talking about climate change and everything becoming hotter, this guy wants to abolish air conditioners. This guy is one freak.
That's up there with get your solar panels, we're going to block the sun. Huh? Have electric car, got no electricity.
I know that, you could see a theme coming along here, but
theme
everything,
of morons, John.
Everything is unsustainable. Completely unsustainable, sorry. And France has just given the green light to Palestinian asylum seekers. So
we've probably already got them from. Well, I've seen there are some here already. I've seen them on people's videos being interviewed, and we've just listened to Farage with the Afghan thing. So God knows how many people they've brought from God knows where without anyone knowing. And then
these are the people.
Have pushed it up.
These are the people that are going to be coming across. They're either going to get into Ireland and get access to Northern Ireland and then come across to the mainland, or they're going to come across on the dinghies. And these are the kind of people that we're actually going to be bringing.
But before we move on, I'll answer that question, Lee Anderson. It won't make any difference whatsoever.
No, it won't. None whatsoever. No. These are the people, by the way, when an Israeli was dead, these are the people in Palestine that were celebrating.
Lovely people.
Yeah. That's what's coming into our country.
Can't wait.
Well,
I can't wait, actually. I can wait a really long time, to be honest.
Well, they're asking...
They're already here, John. They're already here, mate.
They're asking for trouble. So let's move on to our main subject tonight. And I pile drived through those things just to give people an idea of what's actually happening. Because in a busy day, they don't see all these other stories that are going on, and basically they can't make educated decisions on what's happening because they're not seeing it. But in truth, with all those people that we're supporting that actually bring nothing to the table at all, and everybody can argue the fact, but the bulk of them are bringing nothing to the table. They're taking, it's unsustainable. Unsustainable. The national debt is going up, and they're doing nothing about it because they can't actually solve the problem from the taxes. So that's why you're getting all these fears, Mark, of people coming for your pension. They are
adding stuff. They are adding stuff to the table, mate. But it's that bad. I want to flip the table. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then probably chuck the table over the head. But anyway, moving on.
Well, the biggest thing that actually got me today that you brought up, and you're going to lead on this, is this. Labour scraps the Tory plan to put age restriction on sex education in primary schools. That would have stopped under nines being taught. Well, there's that lovely minister that's doing that.
It's great to hear the road to fully sexualising the kids is upon us. Do you know what? This was something I've been complaining about for years, but then it looked like the Conservatives were going to take the edge off it a little bit. So now I've got to get back on this again, have I? We're meant to protect children, but this, John, is the slow path to absolute disaster. I mean, I'll go through a few of the things, and these are not good signs. These are worrying signs. This is all a bigger picture. We go back to the 70s and the 80s, and you had the PI, which was the Nancy Information Exchange.
Yep.
They wanted to lower the age of consent. I've read in some places as low as 4. Now, remember, early sexual education was part of their agenda. What else have we had? Oh, we've had children being blamed for being prostitutes. rather than being abused. We've got people turning a blind eye to the abuse due to we don't want to be called racist, because the whole race obsession is apparently more important than the safety of kids. You've got these nonces, they're not being punished properly, are they, by judges? You've got authorities. What are they doing? Writing letters to these migrants and posters. Oh, please don't nonce the kids. Don't hang around outside schools. It's just normalising it. You've got people who believe that they can be rehabilitated. So you've got foundations like the Lucy Faithful Foundation. They give a 10-week group therapy. Do you think that's going to fix them? I tell you what, Lucy, one of the Faithful Foundation, would you have them come and say and look after your kids after 10 weeks? Because I sure as hell wouldn't. Get on this one, a little bit of information. Their helpline supports 800 callers monthly, while 2,500 calls go unanswered. That's a lot of nonsense, John. And that won't even be half of them. What did I spend?
Can you just answer me one question, Mark?
Go on,
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
List.
Right, but can you tell me why government sources said that primary schools would only be able to deviate from the guidance and teach sex education before year 5 if it was in a child's best interest? Now, how is it in a child's best interest to teach them sex education before year 5?
It's not, John, but it's in nonce's best interests. And you remember the no maps, which was the non-offending minor attracted persons. Really? You trying to call nonsense that? They were on X for years. Me and a lot of other people spent years trying to get rid of them. Well, it was formerly Twitter. Twitter didn't want to get rid of them. In fact, Twitter got rid of us before it got rid of them, and we kept having to make new accounts. But what's it led to? Men walking around with men with the bits out on social media now, using hashtags for the family-friendly apparently events. Then you've got at the events, men walking around with their dicks hanging out in front of kids, and when challenged, well, kids aren't bothered. I'm not bothered. You've got people waving dildos around in front of children. Remember the WEF guidance about masturbation? Indicated children ages young as 0 to 4 naturally explore their bodies, including genitals, as part of development. No, they don't, you sick bastards. 0 to 4-year-old children aren't thinking, I'll go and play with myself. This will be nice.
No, they're not.
No. Look, I'm going to give their excuses. Look, they're claiming that the people like us who are claiming that they're sexualising children, they often arise from, we're misunderstood, John. It's misunderstandings. The aim of the policy is to protect. But it doesn't always work that way, does it, John? Because they keep pushing the boundaries that far, that it just ends up in an absolute mess. Now, what they keep doing is, so you just said it's in the best interest of the children. What they also keep banging on about is how it's all being tailored to being age appropriate. Now, I'm going to call absolute bullshit on that. So my experience with my son's primary school is I disagreed that some of the sex education and the gender identity stuff was age appropriate. So I asked them for evidence, for it to be, show me your evidence backing up how it's age appropriate. Well, this was 4 years ago, and they never gave me any. In fact, they refused. I asked them for evidence mainly on the gender identity, didn't get any. Even the governors in the final letter that they sent me totally ignored all that. There was phrases that were going to be part of sex education when I think my son was probably 7 or 8. And I challenged them and said, how are you going to explain these terms? Again, I repeatedly asked them. They refused to answer. They got to the end when he's left the school. They still didn't answer. It wasn't part of the governor's explanation about any of the stuff I asked. They did not and would not give the answers.
Bullshit artists.
Well, they are bullshit artists because now they're pretending that this new guidance they're bringing out here now, Labour, they should be bringing out the one with the gender identity and the women's rights and safety and spaces, but they haven't. They've gone for this tosh instead.
Yep.
So I got no evidence for gender identity or the trans issues in the primary school. So all this stuff about age appropriate is absolute bollocks because I disagree and they couldn't back up their arguments. Now, this new guidance they're bringing out says parents should be able to view all the curriculum materials on request. Again, calling bollocks. 2.5 years, that's 2.5 years it took me to get hold of the No Outsiders off his primary school. I already got it myself in the meantime and complained about it all before they'd actually given it to me, John. It was just stalling tactics. They blocked me and everything. So they make this sound like it's working and it's all done in the best interests. But I'm telling you now, it doesn't always work like that.
No.
Parents are labelled bigots, John, and this so-called progressive sexual liberation, it won't stop until it's gone way too far. And when you say way too far, look at the American schools, mate. They've had books in there explaining sexual activity to minors in great detail.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to finish. When you look at the bigger picture, 1 in 20 children experience some form of sexual abuse. We shouldn't be encouraging this at a younger age.
No.
We should actually be stopping it now. So I just want to do everyone a favour and just, at the first opportunity, remove these vile people. They are disgusting.
Oh, get them out. Get them out. I mean, I can think of some other people to remove because look at this. This young lady was coming into school to celebrate Britishness.
Yeah, here we go again.
All right, no, go ahead.
And what was her crime? They had a let's celebrate culture, diversity day, etc., etc.
And this is built-in school in Rugby, Warwickshire. Her name is Courtney Wright, and she was hauled out of lessons and made to sit in the waiting room in the reception until she was collected. And her crime was simply to attend school, on a day that they were inviting everybody to celebrate cultures, but the school didn't mean anything British. So she turned up to school, and you can see the picture of her there.
Yeah.
And they made a sit-in reception. Go ahead, Mark.
Surely ours should be the dominant culture. So for anyone thinking, well, maybe a dad's dressed her up in that, go in, wind up all the teachers. I'm going to read you what a little thing was going to be. I have to put my glasses on this time. So I want to read this out.
Oh, look, you look even more intelligent, sir. You look even more intelligent. I'm telling you.
Is that possible? Well, anyway, before anyone makes judgment on the girl, this is what she was going to say. Now, I'm going to paraphrase the first paragraph. In Britain, we have lots of traditions, so she lists a lot of our stuff, and all right, whether it is British or not. Then you get to the second paragraph, but sometimes at school, we only hear about other cultures, right? You're thinking, oh, here we go. But she says, which is great, because learning about different countries is interesting and important, but it can feel like being British doesn't count as a culture, just because it's the majority. I think culture should be for everyone, not just for people from other countries or backgrounds. Being British is still a culture, and it matters too. It's part of who I am. So let's celebrate all cultures, whether they come from far away or right here at home. Thank you, she says. I actually think that's quite mature. I'd probably go a little bit further and say, no, ours is the dominant culture. Follow it or get lost.
Sod off. Well, we've had a comment there from, again, from one of our listeners. And he said, Sam, and there you go. Let me just bring that down there so everybody can see it. He said, I'm sorry, what? Well, there's the truth. I'm sorry, what? And good evening to you, Sam, as well. And also good evening to the others that are actually coming up there. And I just want to say that, quite simply, what is it with these people?
Evil.
There's something wrong with them that actually says that they actually want to damage English, British culture for whatever reason. They're looking to suppress it. I mean, I'm just going to be completely open and honest about this, Mark. I cannot see anything in this government that is doing anything other than suppressing the United Kingdom. I can't see what it is that the money that they're spending is actually improving anything. If anything, it's suppressing the English, it's suppressing Britishness, and none of the services are improving for the amount of money that they're spending. I mean, in a year, Mark, and I'm sure that you can back this up, they're spending $840 billion to run the country. Now, that was in 2022. In 2024, it's bumped up to 1.26 trillion. Tell me what services that we're seeing, including education, health, transport. Tell me any of those things that are actually improving for that extra outlay in money.
it's doing the opposite of what it's meant to do. Look, she should be able to go to school and celebrate our culture. It's
Correct.
our flipping culture. What they're doing to children in school is disgusting. And we were talking about suppressing things. But it's gone a little bit quiet with all this woke stuff in schools for the last year or so. I wonder why. Because we were just it was relentless.
Yeah.
Back when we were doing the audio podcast, it was literally I had 3, 4, 5, 6 things to choose from.
Yeah.
And we couldn't discuss them all. For the last year, I've been struggling to find things. I thought, no, it's still going on. And I know this from my son's schools and other schools in the area. So we can talk about a school in the area as well now. This is still going on, whether you hear about it in the papers or not.
Well, here you go.
And what they do is it won't be in lessons. They put it through an assembly. So this was an assembly by the Anthony Walker Foundation. Now, yes, it was sad what happened to Anthony Walker. He was murdered it was Joey Barnes' brother and a friend of his in Liverpool. But this was nearly 20 years ago. So I'm not really sure what this has to do with children now who are like, in this area, young children. But when you're looking at it, you're thinking, okay, so we've got a problem with race and faith-based hate incidents and murders of people from different races, if you want to use that word. I can't stand it. So you think in school, are they going to give them the full picture? Or are they just going to, all your white kids are racist?
Yeah.
So here's the assembly. It's basically led on a black person was killed by white people 20 years ago. As I say, very sad. I hope they rot, but they'll probably be out soon anyway. Despicable act. Don't agree with it. No, just leave that one for a minute. But we'll go back to so let's have a look at what happened in 2006. We need the other slide from The Guardian, please.
Okay, here we go.
So that was 2006. So you think in assembly, are they going to give you the whole context from 2006? I don't think they are, though, because in The Guardian, they said this. In 2006, the article notes that of 58 racially motivated murders, and this was the time Anthony Walker was murdered, across the UK, 24 victims were actually white. That's half of them.
Yeah.
So where's the assembly for these kids? Where was Chris Donalds, who was set upon by Pakistanis and burnt alive because he was white? So there you go. 4 killed by black attackers, 6 by Asian, lovely labels, and 7 by attackers of unidentified racial background, meaning they weren't white. So half the people at that time who were killed were white. But that's a little bit disproportionate, isn't it, for the amount of those ethnicities, colours, silly labels they want to use there across the country.
But they never actually tell the truth. They always give a slant, which is against the white, indigenous British.
Correct. So you go and try and look up this information. Sorry, we haven't been able to serve the page you asked for. Oh, it's an outdated link. Oh, is it really? You can still find the Anthony Walker murder on their website 16 years ago. That's not an outdated link, is it?
No.
So this is how they try and skew the argument and put it in their favour. Well, this is no good at all. So what I'm going to say to people is, in the past, I've said, try and challenge the school on all this stuff. But you know what? In my experience, it gets you nowhere. In fact, they just label you as the bigot and the phobe or the cyst or whatever word they want to make up, right?
Indeed.
So what I'd recommend now for parents is it's time to educate your children, and it's time to get in there first. So when your school notify you about these things, right, that are happening in your school, give your children the full argument. Let them see both sides, like we've just done there. Everyone's thinking, oh, all white people are murdered back. That's not what's happening. Actually, it sways the other way. So teach your kids to formulate an argument. And if you give them both sides of it, and leave them to make the decision, which is the best argument. And I know which one they'll pick, not their bonkers, skewed arguments.
These people are just, they're sick. I don't understand. I don't understand why they're getting away with what they're doing. And people have got to realize, well, they've got to realize that your kids are actually being influenced by these people. And then by the time they get to university, they're also being induced into certain thinking which accepts things that we wouldn't do in our age, in our time. It just wouldn't be acceptable. But they're trying to break down these barriers to make them acceptable. And the answer is, you've got to fight against it. You've got to say these things. I mean, does anybody want to be absolutely paying for billions out on migrants who add nothing to the mix. They add nothing. They're increasing the debt of this country. And I'm not anti-racist. I'm not anti-anything. I was born
I'm anti all this crap, John. I'm anti all this crap that damages our children and our country.
Indeed. I just want to say, I was born in the States. All of my friends were either, well, it's not the right thing to say, but this is the way that they were.
No, they were either say it in case it hampers us on the.
They were either Spics, they were Chinese, Spanish, Chinese, Italian, blacks. They were all. It was mixed, and we never had any issues because nobody thought in those days that color made any difference. There was just no difference. You would get kids coming up to you and saying to you, "Do you know how to do that? Could you help me?" And
I just want to go back to you asked the question. You asked the question, why does it keep happening? And again, it's the same things we spoke about last night. There's never any accountability. So again, there needs to be drastic action. And if we got anyone in politics who's even willing to do this, because what you need to do and what needs to be done is these schools need to be shut down. And they need to be shut down for a few weeks.
It's not
and
the
then
school.
What you do
it's
is,
not the
let
school.
Me finish, please.
It's the teachers.
Let me finish, please. And then what you do is you sack all the teachers, and then you rehire them back the next week with a nice new contract. Your pay's the same.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But if you teach any of this crap, you got to get rid of the gender ideologies, critical race theories, all that stuff has got to go, right? And if any of you teach it, you are gone, and it's in your contract. You're out on your ear. I mean, ideally, John, we need right-wing schools. We need these schools gone. We need to take all the staff out and either retrain them with new contracts or get people who are actually right-leaning minded and remove this stuff. So that's another good policy for the Remove Party. So do you want to vote on that? Well, I'm seeing as 2 members. I'm in favour. So there you go. That's another policy. Remove this shit from our schools. And if the teachers and the people in the schools and the governors aren't willing to remove it, remove them too. This has got to be drastic now.
God.
Look, Trump's doing it.
Oh, yeah.
I know their system's slightly different, enables him to. But we can find a way. But again, you've got to hold
we are going to get a lot of resistance from the women. I'm telling you now. So I'm actually...
What women haven't said? What do you mean from the women? I know women who are against all this stuff.
Really? Right. Well, any of the women... of them? Well, a lot of the left-wing women in the schools are... Right, so let's
the men are just as bad in the schools, John. Not all heads are women.
Well,
they're letting all this go by. In fact, one of the schools you've showed a thing from, the head's a man. Well, he calls himself a man. We've got one more. We'll end it on a little bit. This is the type of stuff they're putting through your schools. This is from another school about sports day. Look at the state of this. The aim of this woke day is to participate in various activities. And here we go. Unlike a traditional sports day, there are no individual sports offered. So therefore, we're not going to breed any winners. It's all, everyone gets a participation trophy, do they? All activities are underpinned by teamwork. All right, that's great. You can have teamwork. How about have team activities and individual for the ones that thrive individually? Good sport. This is the best bit. And good sports personship. Oh, shit. This is so all students feel they want it. It's just woke mincy words. And then obviously you've got to have gender neutral football. You know what? If the girls want to play football, that's fine. But I think they should probably play with the girls. Well, I'm sorry, I know what's going to happen when you play with the boys. And they're going to like it.
Here's my point.
What kind of a sport? Remember when we used to do sports day and you wanted to win
exactly
stuff,
what you're saying.
You got a trophy and your parents cheered you on.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Got invited to this. I wouldn't be going.
Well, let's just say that if the women want equality in tennis, they're going to have to play 5 sets.
They've already got it, mate. They've already got the pay. And they just do the 3.
They've got to play 5 sets. All right. And also, just to lighten things up and sort of to give the impression that everybody thinks that we're misogynistic, check this out.
Is a man less of a man if he can't change a flat tire?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. Is a woman less of a woman if she can't cook a meal from scratch?
Gotcha, bitch.
Okay, and check this out. Hey, and big thanks to Sam for his comments that are coming in. You know, he said,
Sam, ask him. We need another recommendation for our deportation list. Come on,
yeah,
Sam.
we need no, and we're going to add it, Sam. We're going to add it, okay, and to the others that are commenting as well. All right, what about this one? Here's a guy in America, and I can empathize with this.
This is what I think it is. This is really good.
You're incapable of being happy?
It is.
Why do you say that?
Because women with curly hair buy a straightener. Women with straight hair buy a curly. Women with dark hair dye it blonde. Women with blonde hair dye it dark. Women with big boobs, they get a breast reduction. Women with small boobs, they get implants. I mean, you can't make that species happy. If they're light skinned, they want to get darker. There is no making them happy. They got eyebrows. They shave them off and draw new ones on. There is no making that species happy. When the Almighty created woman, He created a weird animal.
Anything else?
No, that's it. I mean, I'm sure there's more.
I love women. That is funny.
I have to say, when people turn around and they say, we don't need Google because I'm married. She knows everything. I can just hang with that. Well, I'm telling you now, it's been great talking with you. I know that, you know, some of the subjects are very emotive, and I know that you wanted to get some things out, you know, about it. But I think that we should end on this, and it is our cultured WTF usual. Okay.
Before we do, if anyone else has got any bonkers, crap, woke nonsense from schools and such like, just send them in, and we'll.
Right. Well, we've got to have a vote. We've got to have a vote because we've had a suggestion. Ed Miliband.
Oh, he's in. In fact, I'll do that straight away after this. Ed Miliband. Oh, he's gone.
Ed Miliband.
He can go to the Ascension Islands with Jobby. See you later, boys.
So here it is. Here it is. And it is ending. And we're going to say goodnight to you. Thank you very much for another great conversation with you, Statsman. And to all our listeners, thank you very much. Thank you for the suggestions. Thank you very much. Here we go.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
That's what I felt like today, to be honest.
What the fuck?
Leave the kids alone. Pink Floyd had the right idea.